There's a reason why you're attracting price-sensitive clients, and that's all to do with the message that you're putting out there, the way that you're positioning yourself. Now, there are many ways we can position ourselves. We can position ourselves at networking events, on our website, in Google, in Facebook and on LinkedIn, and lots of mechanisms. I'm just going to give an example of website right now, because let's face it, if one of your existing clients recommends you to another client or potential client, then chances are they're going to check you out on your website. What will they see? Well, here's a basic mock-up of a website. And really it reflects what I tend to see on a regular basis with accountants' websites. In other words, they all say the same thing. Many of them will say, we're accountants and business advisors. We're not like other accountants. We're different. We're proactive. We're forward thinking, or buzzwords along those lines. But then they don't demonstrate any of that. They'll all then go on to say, we do accounts, we do bookkeeping, we do payroll, whatever it might be. And so you compare that to the next website and it says something very similar. Maybe there's different graphics, maybe there's different colors, maybe the words are in different places, but they all effectively say the same kinds of things. Now, when you position yourself very similar to your rivals, your competition, then from a potential customer's point of view, when they're comparing websites and they're seeing that you're all the same, the only deciding factor can only be on price, can't it? But if you can differentiate yourself sufficiently, yes, there's going to be a core offering, but if you can differentiate yourself sufficiently, and as long as your value proposition matches the wants and needs of your prospective client, then they're going to choose you over and above the competition, even if you're charging a premium rate, because actually price stops becoming the deciding factor. Now, there are many ways that you can do that, but actually, in terms of the majority of your communications, I want you to take a look at the wording that you use on your websites and just think about whether it fits with these three areas. Now, 2,500 years ago, Aristotle said, and many people have said this since then, right up to present day, that really we should communicate on three types of levels, if you like. One is ethos, so in other words, the credibility. Conveying your credibility factor to elicit some form of trustworthiness. So what are your qualifications? What's your reputation? Do you have testimonials on there to support that? Those types of things, really important. And I see that many accountants tend to have those things in place on their website. Great. There's always room for improvement, but on a basic level, they have those things. Logos is logic, so reasoning, facts and figures, those types of things. Again, natural for accountants to communicate on that level. And again, always room for improvement, but generally those things are right. But the third one, pathos, is the emotion, establishing an emotional connection with your ideal client. Sadly, I see that many accountants looking at their websites don't really establish that emotional connection. And this is a great opportunity for you to be able to do that. How do you establish an emotional connection? By speaking much more with your clients and using the language that they would use to describe the impact that you've had on them. The impact that maybe if you asked them what life was like before they started working with you, maybe they were snowed under, maybe they were in a mess, maybe they were feeling overwhelmed. So these are the types of frustrations that they were facing, and then compare that to how life is now that they're working with you. So in other words, it's kind of the testimonials, but in much more depth. These are case studies, these are stories where the emotion is coming through. Also talk about your aspirations as well. What do you want to achieve? Do you want to make life better for your business owner clients? So make sure that you're really utilizing the pathos element and communicating much more of a human to human connection with your prospective clients. That's one way. I'm not suggesting for a single moment it's the only way, but actually when people realize that you are speaking specifically to them and you really understand them in their situation right now, then they're going to be much more open to having a conversation with you and understanding the value you can deliver. Conversely, when you speak to everybody and anybody, nobody listens, apart from the price sensitive ones that are just looking for the cheapest price. So it is really important to define your ideal client as well. So look at your existing client base. If you've got a superstar client in there, then what are the qualities that describe that particular type of client? And start to use that, have conversations with them, try and gather that information from them that I've just described and use that in your communication. It's very important that you are targeted towards your ideal client. Don't be too broad a range, really hone right in on that. So if you've got a range, narrow it and narrow it and narrow it until you've got a much more specific ideal client profile. And that's what you need to be really targeting. Your ideal client profile can be made up of 4 factors here. 1, the personality. Think about the qualities of the personalities of the clients that you really love working with. Think about the demographics as well, maybe how long they've been in business. Are they startup, long time established, hit a glass ceiling? Maybe they want to go from 500k to $1 million or $1 million to 10 million, whatever it might be, or higher of course. Maybe they have to have a team of people, maybe they don't. So just think about the demographics. Maybe industry type is important to you, maybe it isn't. Think about the geographic as well. Does it matter where in the UK they're based or whatever country you're based in right now listening to this? Does it matter whereabouts they are based? For some, they want their clients to be local so they can meet them again for a coffee and have a conversation face to face in person, and other people are very happy to use the likes of Zoom and Teams to have their conversations, which means their net can be cast further afield, as long as you're being specific about the ideal client. But once you've ascertained that, then it's really important to understand what are their problems, what are their frustrations, what are the types of things that you can then relate to and be able to convey to your target audience that you really understand where they're coming from. Once you get that right, as I say, you're going to establish much more of an emotional connection. You absolutely must communicate that. Who am I? I'm Shane Lucas. I'm author of the best-selling book for accountants, Putting Excellence into Practice. Now, in a few weeks' time, I'm running a masterclass. It's a 2-day masterclass, and I would love for you to discover more about that with the view to coming along to those 2 days. Now, in those 2 days, I'm going to be sharing with you much more information on how you can attract your ideal client, but also how do you price your services really effectively so that you're demonstrating the value and you are delivering those services for a premium where clients are happy to pay that fee. I shall also be looking at how you can maybe upgrade your clients so that you're delivering many more high value services to them in a way that doesn't come across as salesy. Also, how do you deliver advisory type solutions? How do you scale up your business in a way that it's not adding to the burden of your hours? In fact, how do you reduce the amount of hours that you're working in your business? All of that and much more as we're covering in the masterclass. So I highly recommend, click the link below now, read a little bit more about it. If the stuff in there resonates with you, great, then maybe you're an ideal client for the masterclass. If not, no problem at all, and I hope you've taken value from this video. All the best. Bye-bye.